Okay, guys, so I'm live again. So this is the fifth and final installment in the 5 episodes I did about the runs you need to get better, or the types of run you need to be a better runner. In episode 1, I covered just the easy run. In episode 2, I went through the long run. Episode 3 was the intervals. Episode 4 was the tempo run. And today I'm just going to do the fartlek run. So the fartlek run is kind of the final piece in the puzzle. I personally wouldn't use a whole lot of fartlek running myself in my training. Because I find that if you go back and listen to the previous episodes, I find that getting one is hard enough, then getting the long run is tough enough. Adding some intervals is usually when I'm getting towards my limit. Doing some tempos is when I'm right up in around that marathon training. So the fartlek running is not something that I do a huge amount. Sometimes if I'm in off season, if I'm between races and I just want to go out for a run, I feel I have a little bit of energy and I want to push it. That would be when I would use fartlek running. But overall, I can't imagine, or I can't say that I would use it a huge amount in my training. Like I said, it's usually one of the 4. Most of my running is just easy running. I do a long run every weekend, and I build on, as I approach the races, I build on the long run, make it longer and longer, depends on what the race is that's coming up. I do interval runnings when I'm in big time training mode, and I do tempo running as well. So the fartlek stuff doesn't come in very often, but when it does, it can be quite useful. It's got a couple of good benefits. So basically what you're doing when you're doing a fartlek run is you're just going out and you're doing like your easy run. And then at some point in the run, you'll just decide you want to take the pace up. And there's no kind of set effort on this. So when we're doing intervals or tempos, we usually have a set effort before we go out. With fartlek running, it's just taking that pace up to whatever you feel comfortable or uncomfortable, whatever you want. And you hold it for as long as you want. You can hold it for time or distance. It doesn't make a difference. And whatever it is you're doing, and then you drop it down. So I guess probably the most common way people do interval running is they'll go out, fartlek running, they'll go out, they'll do a little bit of a warm-up, and then they might, between 2 lampposts or 2 certain points on the road, they might just decide that in between those 2 points, they'll just pick the pace up. And then once they reach the point that they had planned, then they'll slow it down. And then maybe they'll run easy again for another few minutes or whatever, and then do it again. And they might be running on a road that has lots of lampposts along it, so you can just say, right, I'm going to run fast for the next 2 lampposts, and then go easy for 2, and then you might do that again on and off, or you might say, I'll go easy for or run fast for 2 lampposts, and then easy, and then the next time you might run fast for 3 lampposts, and then easy at 4. There's no structured way of doing it. It's just whatever you feel like doing when you're out there doing it. I think most people probably do it in terms of time. So you just go out and you go, right, again, you wouldn't have a plan before you go out. You go out, you do your warm-up, and then you think to yourself, right, I'm just going to run faster, whatever that may be, for maybe 2 minutes. And then once you get to the end of that 2 minutes, you can just slow down if you want. Or, again, you can slow down sooner or later, whatever you want. And you take it back to that easy pace again. And then as soon as you feel ready or you feel comfortable, you feel like you want to go again, you just pick up that pace again. And that's what you're doing for your fartlek running. It's very straightforward. It's very easy. Because it's not very structured, I think a lot of people probably don't include them in their training program. If you're doing some sort of, training for a 5K, 10K, 10-mile, half marathon. Yeah, I don't prescribe them a huge amount. I do a little bit with the people I train. If somebody's away on holidays and they just want to keep it ticking over for the week, I might say to them, yeah, just in this week, just do a couple of easy runs and add in like a fartlek run, and just take it up and just go out and do whatever you want. And if you feel like having a little bit of intensity, so this be on a week where somebody's not doing their interval session, but they might feel that they're losing a bit of fitness, and just to keep that confidence up, I would say to them, maybe go and do a fartlek run. But for the most part, I don't do it myself, and I don't prescribe them to the people that I coach, because yeah, the inconsistency with it kind of doesn't really, I mean, you get good bang for your buck, there's no doubt about it, but it just doesn't fit well with people's training programs, I suppose. The fitness benefits are really good because it's up and down. So you're going to be pushing lots of different systems. You're going to be using your easy runs. You're going to be getting that fat adaptive stuff going. You can push it up and get into that aerobic threshold. You can go up above aerobic threshold. You can get up around that VO2 max. You can go all out. You can kind of get really up into that anaerobic end. You can do what you want with it. You can mess around with it and change it and chop it and do whatever comes to feel fit. You can do stuff like you can run pretty hard at the start and then take it down. And then you can, depending if you're going for a long fartlek run, at the end when you're feeling very fatigued, you could throw in a few intervals, just even running for 2 lampposts at marathon pace when you're quite fatigued. That could be quite good. There's a lot of different ways you can mess with it. There's a lot of different ways you could change. You can do something with it. But like I said, because it's not very structured, it doesn't fit into like a structured training plan, if you get me. Fitness benefits, yeah, definitely good. Overall health benefits will be pretty good as well. And particularly if you're doing the easy on the aerobic threshold stuff, you're going to get overall good long-term health benefits from it. Again, when we're up around that, if you're talking about doing like sprint intervals or, kind of VO2 max type intervals, the long-term benefits wouldn't be massive from that. But overall, the run, I think, will be very good. It would probably give you more health benefits than, I suppose, doing like a hard, sharp interval session. But that's just because of how the physiology works. But if you're doing a structured training plan where you say you're training for a half marathon, then you're going to get a lot of fitness benefits and things like the intervals. But just in terms of talking about health in general, high intensity stuff wouldn't be the best way to move the needle if you want to bring your health overall. If you want to just improve your health and you're not worried about your performance, you're far better off doing like easy aerobic or aerobic threshold work. I wouldn't really prescribe any sort of high intensity stuff for anybody if all they're worried about is either weight loss or of health benefits. Yeah, that's pretty much it in the Fartlek Run. I mean, it's pretty short, it's pretty sweet. There's not a whole lot to go on about it. It's a method that, like I said, when I use it much more when I'm kind of in between racing, when I'm on my off season than I do. Some days I might just go out and I just decide actually when I'm doing the run, you know what, I'll just pick it up now and just do a little bit. And sometimes I do that. I'll just say, if I'm on roads, I usually run at the same kind of areas that I know. So I might just say, if I'm going from my house, when I get down to the beach, there's a road leads down to the beach, a kilometer, I might just run hard on that kilometer and then come back and then go up onto the beach. And then as I'm heading up the beach, I know distances, I might just go run hard until I get to the rocks, or I might run hard until I get to the shelter, whatever. So it's just different ways of doing it, and there's no structure to it. It's a very easy thing to understand. A lot of people complicate it and mess with it and try and make it into something it's not. It's a straightforward thing to do, and it is a good training modality. But like I said, because of the inconsistency with how you plan it, it just it probably gets overlooked a little bit. But certainly, if you're just going out and you just want to go out and have a bit of fun, enjoy yourself, or if you've finished the race and you're kind of coming back to training, you've done a little bit of easy running, you feel you're getting back into it, but you haven't started back on a specific training program. Again, that's somewhere where I might just go, if I get out of my car and feel I have a little bit of energy today, I just think I might just kind of push out the boat and see what's in there, see what's under the tank after the last race. That's kind of when the Fartlek Run comes into me. Sometimes I'm driving home from work and I think I'm going to be really tired. I'll pull my car up at Malahide Castle Gwyn, I'll run around the grass area, and it's happened me a few times where, you know what, the energy is actually much higher than I thought it was going to be. So I don't have anything planned, I don't have anything structured. So I'll just do a little bit of Fartlek running. And that's pretty much it. You would probably get a lot more from this episode if you go back and listen to the other ones first. But like I said, you can follow me on Instagram to find out what more is coming up. I will do more live. I will do more of these YouTube live chats. I'm not sure how I'm going to structure it. If you don't know about my podcast, so the last 5 episodes I did as a podcast. I re-record them and put them up as a podcast. I'm not going to continue doing that where I do the live stream. I think originally I was going to use the live stream to be the podcast as well, but it was a bit clunky and I wasn't happy with how it was turning out. And I think I just want to keep YouTube and my podcast kind of separate from each other. But I will keep doing live streams on it because I do enjoy it and I have enjoyed it. So I'm going to pick a time of the week where I'll go back on. The next time I'm on, I'm probably going to talk about fueling when running. Will probably be the next one. I'll sit down and I'll make a specific list of the topics that I'm going to cover on the YouTube live. They will be different to what I do on the podcast. If you don't know my podcast, I have a podcast. It's just called Run Sensible, where I talk about stuff like this in running and I interview people who've had kind of weird and wonderful stories about running. That's pretty much it for this. I hope you got something from this. I just see there's 2 comments there. Let's have a quick look. Oh, it's Ben. Ben finally caught me live. Yeah, good to have you on, mate. Lots of show jump weight usually works well for me. Yeah, you know what? I am doing lots of load. At the moment, my training this year, I didn't do as many miles as I wanted in January. I ran a marathon in December, and then come January, I just thought I would be gung-ho ready to go, and I was. But I just couldn't get myself the motivation to go out and do the mile. It was bad weather. It was cold, wet and windy. And then January or February came around and I kind of got into it. I started doing some intervals and trying to do a little bit of tempo stuff as well. But again, I found that my mileage was a little bit lacking. I did a 5-mile race and I wasn't particularly overly pleased with how I did in that. So this time last year I was just doing lots and lots of low easy miles. So for the last 5 days, I've just done 10K every day, nice and easy. And I think I was just going to continue that until I feel that aerobic fitness coming up. Anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, I will find a time during the week where I go YouTube live. I just don't know what that time is going to be yet because life is busy, but there will be one. I'm thinking Friday morning at about 9 o'clock for about 15 or 20 minutes. But I'll see. Anyway, listen, guys, you know what to do in the meantime. Run far, run fast, most of all, run sensible.